Thank you for tuning in to Gloves Off Seattle. Your hosts, Patti and Meagan, will be talking about all things Seattle women's hockey. A huge Pacific Northwest welcome to the PWHL. Gloves Off Seattle! Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.
Gloves Off Seattle.
And for those who are not watching, who might only be listening, we have a very, very special guest today with us. Hannah Murphy, one of our amazing goalies on the Seattle Torrent. Welcome, Hannah. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yay.
So glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm not even backup goalie. I'm going to say 1B right away.
No.
Just 1B.
And we'll get into that. We'll get into the whole goalie because it's funny because we had all these discussions as the team was forming about what the goalie crew was going to look like. So it's really interesting how that's all played out. So we'll get into that. But the first thing we always want to know is because we have interesting stories about how we got into hockey. We want to know, how did you get into hockey?
Yeah, I grew up in the Toronto area, so being from Canada, obviously a lot of people play hockey, and then my family was no different. So both my parents played. I think my sibling and I kind of would run around the rink when my mom was playing on Sunday mornings. My dad would take us in and we would see our mom playing. So that was kind of the inspiration. And then my older sibling was also a goalie. So I think that's kind of how I got to this position specifically. And then once I was in the net, I never left.
Yeah. Wait, so your mom played? What position did your mom play?
Yeah, I think forward, I don't know specifically, but
Okay.
for a couple years, she didn't play growing up, but did kind of learn to skate in her 30s and then played in a Sunday morning league. Yeah.
There's hope for me yet.
That's
I can learn to
awesome.
play.
She totally wants to learn how to play.
I do.
So I have a
Yeah.
question. Was it like hand-me-down goalie gear? Is that how you first got into being a goalie from your older sibling or?
No, actually, because I was always bigger for kind of the same age. So we were in pretty much the same size gear, or even I would have bigger gear. So there was no hand-me-downs, unfortunately, for my
I'm
parents.
sorry for your
I was like, yeah, your parents were totally dedicated and in it. Holy cow.
Yeah, I think we lucked out having some family friends and stuff. Didn't run up the bill too high on my parents, at least when I was first getting started. So it worked out, yeah.
That's
Awesome.
awesome. Well, we know you decided to go to college in the United States. You went to Colgate. Tell us about that
Mhm.
and the decision behind that, because we know obviously a lot of Canadian players decide to come play NCAA hockey. So tell us why you made that decision, how you made that decision.
Yeah, I think I saw some of the older girls kind of starting to go to play Division 1 hockey. It became more of kind of a popular decision, and I wanted to play at the highest level and knew that would be playing Division 1. And then ending up at Colgate, I really wanted to go to a good academic school because at the time when I was looking, there wasn't a PWHL to play in.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea kind of what life would look like after college. So I wanted to make sure I got a good education. And then Colgate had a good mix of that education, but also having a really excellent hockey program. And as soon as I stepped on campus, I just loved it. I love the small campus feel. I knew I didn't want to go to too big of a school. And it was the perfect fit. Like I wouldn't change a thing about my 4 years there.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
And I don't think I know this, or it's not coming to mind. What's your degree in? I don't think I know.
I majored in mathematical economics.
Of course.
Of
We
course.
just have like the smartest players.
And the theme of like having
Math,
that as a backup,
yeah,
maybe math,
engineering. I
engineering.
know, but there's so many of you guys that play professionally now who have, not just even just, what we consider like obviously like STEM degrees or anything like that, but just
Mhm.
advanced degrees and that sort of thing. Like it's amazing and it's inspiring, honestly, I'm sure for many people coming up behind you. So
Yeah, especially those girls that kind of got fifth years throughout COVID. You have a lot of master's degrees in
yep.
there. So we certainly have some overqualified hockey players, that's for sure.
I don't think it's
Highly
overqualified.
qualified,
Yeah,
highly
it's
qualified.
overqualified.
Yeah.
I think it's very smart. Like, and it's funny because just, I mean, this is a total aside. I mean, the discussion is if the league expands more, and there's more opportunity for people, like, will people start not finishing,
Enter the draft
yeah, enter the
early.
draft early, not finishing college. And, because like you said, when you started your degree path, like you didn't even know there was going to be a professional option. Would you have made a different choice? Like if you could go straight to professional or halfway through your college career, would you have gone straight to a professional playing?
Yeah, I think maybe not at this point. Just with the league still being so new and everything, obviously it is an option that wasn't there when I first started looking. I think you'd see that more maybe with the European side. You have kind of a few more girls that don't necessarily go to college, but um, I think that's kind of the older generation. And now, um, in kind of my years, all the girls seem to go want to go to college and still have that kind of backup plan. But I guess you never know where the league goes and what, you could see the progression of salaries and making that a more viable option. So potentially, I guess, in the future, but I'm really glad to have that education to fall back on, but also to be able to be a multifaceted person where I'm not just a hockey player and I want more outside of that when I'm done playing.
And this is a total aside, but I mean, because
You're on bunny trails. I'm sorry, Hannah.
I mean, I have a math degree too, and I mean, where do you
Yeah.
see if you see yourself taking that route B, like what do you see you doing with that degree yourself?
I don't know exactly yet. I would love to stay in the game and like help players continue to grow the game. Even on the more like marketing side with players, and potentially working as an agent.
Mm.
My mom's a lawyer, so I think that contract negotiation side.
Right,
She
she was your
negotiated,
agent, right?
yeah, she negotiated your draft contract, right?
No, she didn't, but
Oh, I
she
thought we
looks
read
over
that
everything.
somewhere.
Mm.
Was she
I
involved at all?
She like read it over. I
Oh,
guess
okay. Maybe
I
somebody made a bigger deal out of that than it was.
yeah, I think the maybe where you saw it is heading into the draft, I didn't have an agent or wasn't
Mm.
signed with an agency. So if I needed her to negotiate my contract, she could have, but she didn't.
Mm.
Okay.
My agency did that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's go to the draft now. I'd love to talk about that.
great segue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a great segue. Tell us about that day, waking up that morning, getting ready. Like how was that?
It was a really cool experience, and it was nice to have it in Ottawa. I have a lot of family in there, in the area on my dad's side. So we went up the day before and got to see a bunch of my cousins and stuff that were obviously all super excited for the draft. And then waking up the day of the draft, I guess we just kind of had a chill morning, got a little workout in to kind of take my mind off things, and then started to get ready, but the night was just amazing and something that I won't soon forget, that's for sure. Um,
Oh,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead. I know
yeah,
I was
just
dying to ask about the
No, no,
jumpsuit.
no.
So
I'll ask about the jumpsuit.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
fine. We'll just talk about it now. I'll ask. So that was the thing about me is I was watching everyone's outfits and I was like, oh my gosh, this, and this. When you stepped on stage, I was like, I have to know where that jumpsuit came from. That was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
I got it off Revolve. I think it was, I don't remember the brand actually, but I got it off Revolve and I don't know if it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my parents. I guess from my two grandmas, that was kind of my graduation present. They said that they would pay for whatever I wanted to wear for the draft. So
Oh,
that's what
sweet.
I went with. And so it's nice to be able to show them the pictures
Yeah.
afterward.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hmm.
So that day, I mean, we were, obviously as fans and fans of the team, newly formed team and just starting to build the team out. Really, Jenna obviously went, first round draft pick, and I know that you guys knew each other previous to the draft, so
Hmm.
that, obviously you were excited. Number one, were you expecting to go second round? Were you expecting Seattle? And we were shocked that a goalie went second round too. Tell us,
Our
you know.
fans were more shocked than we were, I think.
I don't
More
know.
shocked than
I was shocked.
I was happy, but how did it feel? Did it feel right? Did it feel early? Did it feel like what were you expecting?
Yeah, I think I was definitely from kind of, projections or talking to other people. And then once I got talking to GMs in the process, kind of leading up to the draft, um, it definitely seemed like there was a lot of interest. So I knew the possibility that I would go quite high for goalie was kind of there. But as far as where I would go, I had no idea. And then getting picked by Seattle, I had no expectations of going to Seattle at all. They were one of the few teams that I actually didn't talk to leading up to the draft.
What?
Yeah.
Because
Um,
we've
Meg really
yeah,
wanted
all
you.
the
So
accounts
like,
that we've heard is that Meg Turner wanted you.
yeah. So I had no idea. I had never spoken to Meg prior to the draft. That was the first time that I'd met her.
I'm in shock.
Um, Yeah, so I had no idea, but I was so excited as soon as I heard my name called. I guess I should have maybe thought about it a little bit more. Like clearly the expansion teams each needed another goalie heading into that draft. But yeah, just because I hadn't talked to Meg at all, and I had spoken to a lot of the other GMs, it wasn't even really on my radar.
That is so
I mean, I know
interesting.
Meg plays her cards close to
Close
her
to her
chest, but
chest.
that's really
Yeah.
close. Like, did she want to put nothing out there at all so she could snag
I
you? Like,
mean,
I don't know.
we could conjecture
Yeah.
till the cows come home. We'll never find out because she'll never tell us. But that's awesome. I had no
Yeah.
idea. And being a goalie, I can only imagine it just was a different feel, a different flavor than being, a defender or a forward that it's, there obviously there's limited numbers of everybody on teams, but there's obviously very limited goalies on teams. So you were
Mhm.
expecting to be drafted, but you weren't expecting to be drafted as high or so quickly.
Yeah, I think especially with the depth of goaltending in our league, you never know. So, um, that's just something that with goalies in any draft, I guess, it's really um, kind of dependent on the year where goalies are taken. Sometimes high, sometimes they wait a little bit longer, but it's not necessarily, doesn't say anything about the talent of the goalies necessarily, just kind of what teams need because it is such a unique position.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anything else on
Um,
draft before we move on?
no, I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I had a question for him, but it's not for him, so
No, that's
we'll try
okay.
to stumble along with it.
So, our friend Brian, and we have to clink because we clink when we say Brian, wanted to know if you fashion your game after a specific goalie or a kind of goalie or that sort of thing, who would that be?
I think growing up, I was a huge Carey Price fan. So I would say,
She has no
um,
idea
I
who
don't.
that is.
I'm like, okay, Carey Price.
okay.
Nope, don't know who that is.
Um,
No, 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 no.
yeah,
It's not because of that person is probably very prolific. It's because I'm a brand new hockey fan. So,
that is so fair. A Canadian goalie on the men's side, he played for the Montreal Canadiens.
okay.
And then with the men's national team for a little bit, I believe in the 2010 Olympics, but don't quote me on
No,
that.
no, no.
Um,
Brian will correct us.
She
Don't
will.
worry.
yeah. But I just really liked his style of play. And he really was the backbone of the Canadians while he was playing for them. Has a super calm, like technical style of play. And his movements are just so efficient that he never makes a save that he doesn't need to because his rebounds are in excellent spots or he's able to, hold on to pucks like no other. So that's someone that I think growing up I really looked up to. And then more recently, I guess, a current goalie, probably Anne Renee on
Of
Montreal.
course.
So
Yeah.
getting to play against her was a pretty cool experience as well. But I just love her style of play. I think she's an excellent goaltender. And yeah.
As someone who grew up in Toronto, are you allowed to root for Montreal or style yourself after Montreal people?
Uh, no, my dad told me growing up that I could play like Carey Price, but I couldn't cheer for him.
Okay,
Mhm.
fair. That's
Yep,
fair.
go
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
I love that. And so what is your technique? Or do you study like game footage of other teams to like learn about like their playing style and
Shoot.
yeah, how they shoot? Or I mean, you seem to you see the way that you play, it seems that you are always kind of one step ahead of everybody. And obviously you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but like it seems like you said, not making any saves that you don't have to. So tell
Mhm.
me a little bit about that. How do you get to that point?
Yeah, I think the preparation leading into games is definitely a super big part, to know what to expect coming from your opponent. So I think Sheldon, our goalie coach, does a great job with helping us in our pre-scouts, knowing what to expect, whether it's a forecheck or what a certain team does for their power play, that sort of thing. But then more so in game, I think just my habits that are formed in practice. Like the shots are no different from the players that we're facing in a game versus what we face in practice. So that's definitely helpful in terms of preparation to not feel ever out of place.
Mm. So if you see MPP coming up at you like in a breakaway, that doesn't feel any different from like a defender that you don't know as well coming in.
And not necessarily, no. I think sometimes with players I'm more familiar with, it definitely is hopeful. So playing against New York, I found they have a lot of girls that are just out of college that I would have kind of played against a lot
Mm,
through my 4 years at Colgate. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing different from MPP coming down versus Hillary in practice. They're
Okay.
both extremely talented, generational players. So I think seeing those, Hillary or Carpy in practice builds a lot of that confidence that you need heading into a game.
Yeah. Thank you for that euphemism for maybe older generation.
generational
Yeah.
players.
Thank you for
They're
as
not
a
older, they're
generational
generational.
podcaster fan. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And you know what? We glossed over the that your senior year at Colgate, you were the captain of the team, and how unusual that is as a goalie. So can you talk a little bit more about that and how that decision was made and how you feel about that?
Yeah, it definitely is something that's maybe a little bit less common, especially given the nature of being a goalie. You're kind of isolated sometimes and not kind of necessarily with the team on the bench all the time during games or that sort of thing. But I think the rest of it is no different than a normal player. So I guess on our team, we had like player voting, and then ultimately, I think the coaches had final say. So it was a mix of that on how I became captain or co-captain of our team at Colgate. And then overall, the experience I think was super beneficial to help me grow as not only a player but as a person in my last year. You definitely feel a little bit of extra responsibility for the success of the team. And we definitely had a little bit of a younger group, so I felt like in my position, especially with my style of play, I was able to help calm us down during games in times when, whether we needed a whistle or a little pep talk, tap on the shins, that sort of thing, that you kind of figure out ways that certain people pick and perform at their best and just to help us, with that collective goal of winning as much as possible.
Do you have that mentality with your teammates now and that like calming voice and tap on the shins?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different, obviously, being a rookie and you have so many veteran players that, now I get to look up to. But as far as style of play, I don't think anything changes with what I do. I always like to kind of be my teammates' biggest cheerleaders because I know they have the ability to bail me out in times when maybe I need a little help. So, just being a positive voice, doing my job, and you know, creating that trust with my teammates that they know I'm going to show up for them, so they show up for me.
And I know that that support, is part of when you're on the bench as a goalie, because and we can talk a little bit about when you got drafted to the team, we all assumed, Schroeder was going to be our number one goalie and that you were going to be the quote unquote backup. And it seems like it's evolved into something different. Even the things that, Coach Steve has said that, we're more probably a 1A, 1B team. And yeah, obviously your performance has supported that 100%. You've been amazing. I just remember the first game that he put you in. I was like, what's going on? Wait. I didn't, because, we hadn't seen you play before. So I was like, why are we putting our backup goalie in, and then,
Hmm.
obviously you came out and performed, and never again have I ever uttered those words.
I
Don't
mean, won
worry.
her first 3 games, first
Yeah.
goalie ever.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wonder too, like now that we're in a more 1A, 1B situation with you and Schroeder, how do you guys support each other and how do you support her or,
The
even
teammate.
CJ? I mean, obviously, that they're part of the goalie tandem as well. Like how do you guys support each other on the bench when you're in the net, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think our kind of relationship there starts in practice, like anything else. I think we're all super supportive of each other. All three kind of have our own unique style of play, and I think that's part of what makes us all great is we're able to learn from each other and take different things. So both CJ and Schroeds have been awesome. So it definitely makes it easy to be kind of a cheerleader on the bench when someone's in the net and you just need to do what you can to support them in the moment, whether it's like let them vent, make them laugh, that sort of thing. You kind of get to know what everyone likes to be like in the game. I think CJ and I, we joke around a lot, have a little bit of levity at times, and then Strodes maybe talks about more technical in-game stuff to keep that kind of focus. And so learning what the other girls like to do, I think just helps the team cohesion and helps them perform at their best when they're in the net.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cohesion's a great word because you are like kind of the glue on the bench when you're there. You're the only one there all the time, and
Hmm.
being that cohesive partner on the bench when you're on the bench is a backing up that game. No backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'll never say it again, I promise. Um, so anything else like gameplay related before
I mean,
we
it's a great segue into being one of the most normal
I know.
goalies ever.
Yeah.
And
So your roommate, Jenna Buglioni, has called you one of the most normal goalies, and she is your roommate, so we're believing her. So how does it feel to be one of the most normal goalies?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I know Perky, maybe not Teely as well, her two roommates from Ohio State. I don't know if I would necessarily say the same. Like, I think Perky is a great girl, like, totally normal from my interactions with her. But I guess it feels good to know that I'm not too quirky, but I still am a goalie in my own right. So I think maybe still have a little bit of that uh, quirkiness in me.
I mean,
Uh,
everyone's quirky, aren't we?
Exactly. I don't think it's something to be ashamed of, that's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely not. That's
Embrace
right.
it.
Let your freak flag fly. That's what I say, no matter what. No, I think that's great. And I love it. I love that because I think it's a different position, obviously. Like being a goalie is a different position. And there
Hmm.
is probably a lot of, solitude. I think it's some goalies thing. I've seen all kinds of footage where they mic up the goalies. It's like, oh my goodness, like the stuff you have to do to keep yourself entertained in the net. It's gotta be next level. So is there anything weird that you do? Like you have any weirdisms that you do while you're in net to keep yourself focused?
Um, in the net, probably nothing too crazy, but I guess to continue to stay locked in, focus on the play, maybe talk to myself a little bit, but I don't know if that's something even if I notice that I
Mhm.
do and it kind of just happens, but um that would be probably about the weirdest. Like pre-game, I'd say pretty normal, like just play sewer and stuff with the girls, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, so nothing too crazy as far as pre-game routines or rituals go.
Awesome. And I also wanted to bring up the fact that you're becoming a little bit of a TikTok influencer,
Oh, I don't
especially
know if I would say
especially with
influencer.
the cooking videos.
Yeah, the
I've
new
heard about
cooking
the cooking
videos.
video.
Yeah, new
Yeah,
series.
yes.
Tell us about that. You planning anything big that we need to know about?
Nothing crazy, I think, as far as plans go. It's really just whatever Bugs wants for dinner that day. I
Like, don't
happen
make her
to.
wait. She sounded a little salty the other night for the chicken pot pie, I have to
Well,
say.
you can't just tell me the day of that you want chicken pot pie and
Yeah.
expect it 10 minutes later.
Ah,
So, I don't
that
know.
was
That's
funny.
my rebuttal to her
That's right.
argument that I was taking too long.
She was hungry. I love it.
Yeah.
No, you guys are great. It seems like you have a great relationship. It seems like you have a great friendship, and I think that's
Hmm.
amazing. And how fun that you guys ended up on the same team and can continue that. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. Well,
Yeah,
my final question that I wanted to add in is because I'm the fashion queen. I love all the fashion, and I know we've seen the trench coat a couple of times in walk-ins. Tell us about the trench coat and if this is your signature look now.
I don't know about signature look. I would say it's probably a go-to of mine when it's just something easy to throw on, especially when we're on the road. Maybe lacking a little bit of space in my suitcase. So, it's kind of an easy go-to for an outfit. But yeah, we'll see if I have any more fun, exciting things to craft up in the second half.
Is it
Um,
new? Is the trench coat new to the season, or have you had it for a while?
I guess I didn't wear it last year. I would wear kind of peacoats more that I haven't really worn a lot, just based on the weather, I think. Like the lighter trench coat, it doesn't get too cold here, so I think it's weather
Right.
appropriate.
My
I'm
wife is freezing
I'm
all the
always
time. So
cold.
her blanket throw is over there. She's freezing all the time.
Yeah, but I love the
That's
fact that you're
funny.
like, it's not that cold here. And it really isn't. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, guys, like, it really isn't that cold. I'm just a wimp and I don't like cold weather. So,
that's funny.
yes, but suitcase space, I could definitely understand. We're getting ready to go on vacation and we're already talking about how many limited pairs of shoes I'll be able to bring. So, I completely
Yeah.
get it. What do you, any last words? Any last
You
questions?
know, my last word is, and this is just rattling around my head for my favorite roommates. Like,
Yeah.
are your roommates there? Can any cameo coming back?
Unfortunately, Jenna, her room is on the third floor and I'm on the
Oh.
first. So even if I shout, I don't think she'll hear me. But so I'm sorry to not get that cameo in. I guess maybe I could do a little Bane,
There's,
There you
oh,
shout,
I want to
taking
have
a
someone
little nap.
snoring.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
aw.
has a hard life.
Yes, a
Mm,
very hard life.
seems
Yeah.
And
like you're taking very good care of him.
absolutely.
Yes.
And I think shout out to all you roomies, all the teammates that are taking care of the Olympic players' animals at home. So I will end us by saying good luck tomorrow. I know that we will probably be cheering for opposing sides of the gold medal match that will be happening. We're recording this on Wednesday. It's not going to come out till Monday, but it will have happened. But I'm going to say
Yeah.
good luck to the Canadian team and we'll be cheering for USA.
Yeah. I'll certainly be cheering on all of our Torrent girls
Yeah.
for their success.
Will you be at the rough and tumble?
I will be. I think Jenna and I are both going to make it out there. So
Awesome.
hopefully we'll see you
This will
there.
be after. No, unfortunately, we both have to work, so we will not be there. But
Oh, too bad.
yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, that will already have happened by the time the episode comes out.
Yeah.
So awesome, super
Thank you
funny.
so
Yeah,
much, Hannah. This has been amazing, and I just really appreciate you giving us some time.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah,
All right.
anytime you want to come back.
Yep. You.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep. See you
Okay.
at the rink.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Take care.
And that's the show. Tune in next time for another episode of Gloves Off Seattle.